Greetings, this is Tyra Olafemi, your goddess guru, here to bring a word of inspiration to you along your path to self-realization and self-mastery for the year 2014. And so the oracle has spoken, and the energies that are speaking for this year are Seker Negative, Ma'at Hetep. So in this video, I will deal with or talk about the wisdom of Sekert. So essentially what we are dealing with this year is closed energy. What that means is that 2014 could be a challenging year for us, but that all is not lost. You have been given heads up. If you have a challenging 2014, you have been given heads up. So it's no need to have any surprises. In the last video, I talked about self-realization and the importance of accepting responsibility for your life. And so we're given this wisdom so that we can ease the way. If we see the challenges, we can ease the way. We can take responsibility. We don't have to cry about a challenging year. Even though we may cry in it, we don't have to cry about it. So what does Sekert say? Essentially what we're talking about is this is a year for us to tap more into the power within. This year should be a very spiritual year, and that is how we shall tap the power within. Chanting is very important whenever Sekert speaks. We have within us untapped potential, untapped energy. We are limitless beings. We have so much power within us. Most of us don't know that. We don't operate according to our true power, but that doesn't mean it's not there. That just means that we have an opportunity to figure out that is there and use it. And so how do we access this power within us? What we do is we can basically take a key and unlock it, and that key is through chanting. And I am one who doesn't like to tell people what to chant. I don't like to tell people what to do, because you have a wisdom that is innate in you. You have the omniscience of the divine within you. We all have access to the omniscience, the all wisdom, the all knowingness of the great divine consciousness. And so you need to consult the wisdom within you and find out what is the chant that you need to chant, or chants. It doesn't have to just be one. And the way we do this is we chant the phrase, the word, the sound, all of 2014. And I don't exactly know what mine is yet. I need to figure that out. But what I will tell you is that sometimes we're given clues as to what we need to chant. You can find words of power that have been used from ancient times, or maybe these words emerge. Maybe it's words that you have sort of lived by your entire life, but you need these words to become you. That's what you want. You need to become one with the energy. Words of power have energy, and you want to become one with that energy. And once you become one with the energy, you become that energy, and you learn how to use that energy. You can use words of power to unlock the power and tap the power within you. You can use them to unlock the abundance within you, to unlock health within you. It can be, something from ancient times. It can be something from modern times. You may have a spiritual system that you are a part of, that is your faith, and there may be words of power within that faith, or scripture from a particular book, and you say the words over and over and over. You want to say them in a way that you almost get lost, where you don't know, like there is no definition or differentiation between you and the greater reality. And so for me, I have been given what is called an Odu for my life. I got a reading, divination, done on my behalf by my gurus, my godparents, and I was told in Ifa, spiritual system out of the Yoruba people in Nigeria, there is a sacred text. It's Ifa. In Ifa's sacred scripture, or in what are called Odu. In the Odu that speak to me, that are speak to my purpose and why I'm here, and help me to understand the journey that I'm on in this physical realm, I can say those Odu over and over and over. So using words of power, some people say Om, some people say we saw Tina Turner, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Now that one works. I'm telling you, I've used it. I don't discriminate in words of power. Mantra, that's another word you may want to look up if you want to find mantra. There's so many. Oh my gosh. So using words of power are very important in unlocking the power, tapping the power within you. Okay, so the other thing you have to do is understand that you're not a powerless person. Okay, the way things work is there is the omniscience. So when we want to manifest something in our lives, we have to think about what it is that we desire. And we can't question whether or not we can have it or not. You have to know the laws of the universe. That's one of the things we're called to do. Know the truth. What is truth? It's the divine laws of the universe. That's what my aunt says. And once you understand what the laws of the universe are, then if you desire something, you can't doubt it. You have to. Now, you can't go overcoming someone else's will. Okay? For all of you out there who are a little love hungry, you can't overcome someone else's will, but what you can do is attract to you the person who is for you. Don't go try to take somebody else's man. Or if the man has said, I don't want you. Or if the woman has said, I don't want you. Okay? Accept that. But what you want to do is you want to attract to you that which you want, that which you desire, who you want, who you desire. So you can create in your life whatever you want. And the omniscience within you will find the plan to make this happen. And it is the power of the universe that makes it happen. That's where people go wrong a lot of times. They think they're supposed to make it happen. We are to follow the guidance given to us. That's what we're supposed to do. And we have to walk aware. Last year, I talked about the 4 keys to self-mastery, and one of them is awareness. Don't get so distracted in your life that you don't see what you're being called to do. So the power of the universe works through you. We have power to a certain degree, but we have to understand that we have to open ourselves up. And that's why I talked about self-realization. We have to open ourselves up to all levels, because all levels make a contribution. All levels have their purpose. And the physical level's purpose is to give us a vehicle to experience this physical reality. The physical level is not our power. It is a powerful place because you need it to be here. But it's not the source and supply of our power. So you have to allow the power of the universe to work through you. And again, you have to get the proper understanding of who and what you really are. If you think you're powerless, you will be powerless. If you allow the power of the universe, and you don't have to know how, all you have to do is be willing to allow the power of the universe to operate through you so that you can see what you desire made manifest in your life. Okay, so second, tapping the power within. Understanding you are not a powerless person, you are powerful beyond measure. The other thing that is important, and it's saying this year you're going to feel like you're powerless. Well, stop feeling that way. Study the truth, okay? Spirituality is so important. You will make it better if you approach everything from a spiritual posture. Care more about the inner you than the outer you. Care more about the understanding of this part of you that you cannot see. More. Care about spirituality. That is what this year is all about. But it is saying that this is a year where we may struggle with being spiritual, that we may find ourselves very unspiritual, maybe totally, to a certain degree, we may find ourselves doing nothing. We may find ourselves overthinking everything, because Sekert has to do with deep, protracted thinking, very, very deep pondering. It's difficult for me to explain it. All I know is that I've done it, where you ponder and you ponder and you ponder until you get a Sekert is all about being deep. Sekert people who really work with this energy, they're very, very deep. You have a conversation with them and you're like, wow, this person is so deep. I mean, I barely can understand what they're saying. Their concepts are so like mind-blowing. So this is very deep. These people, or when we're dealing with Sekert, it's like you could just really get so deep in your thinking and your pondering. Did you come to this understanding? And people are like, I am totally wowed by this. That's how deep this thinking is. But sometimes it's too much. It's too much thinking, baby. You need to get up and do something. You need to stop. You're overthinking things. This is a year where you may overthink. Stop overthinking it. This is what you need to do. You need to meditate in 2014 on that plan. Okay? Don't come up with the plan. Sekert says a lot of people, they don't plan anything. Right. What they do is they plan, but they don't intuit the plan. Sekert is saying there is a lack of a plan, but sometimes it's the wrong plan. Like you're coming up with some hair brain scheme type stuff that just is not rock solid. It's going to cause you more problems if you don't intuit that plan than if you just go ahead, if you're going to go ahead and just make up this plan. It's better just to go on ahead and intuit it through meditation. Intuit the plan through meditation. Lack of planning is not going to work. 2014, come out with a plan. Okay? Stop flying by the seat of your pants. Okay? I'm talking to me too. You need a plan and stick to the plan. But you want to make sure this plan is coming from the inner you. Okay? And again, it might be some delays. Things might move slow. Whenever Sekert speaks in the negative, it's saying things are going to be moving a little bit slowly. Again, it could be overthinking. There may be delays. This is a year where you may, in terms of your health, you may experience issues with your bones. This is a year where you may have issues with things that are hardening, like stenosis, when people experience hardening of something that shouldn't be hardened in the body. So, really focus on your skeletal health. Kind of going back to what just the general understanding of Sekert, you have to understand to everything there's a season. I think that people would find more peace if they understood to everything there is a season. There's going to be a season where things are on, and there's going to be a season when things are not on. Follow the moon cycles. The moon cycles are really good. You need to really pay attention to the cycles. Which cycle are you in? If you're in winter, but you're trying to act like you're in spring, you may have some issues. Okay? So it's very important to understand which part of the cycle are you in. There's cycles, and sometimes you may come to the end of one, and people have problems with that. People have problems with the winter. They don't understand when they are in the season of winter in their life. Now, I love trees. I consider trees to be my family. Okay, and when I look at trees, what they show me in the wintertime is the value of winter. And I know some places that don't get winter, but it's a great thing to live ever presently in a tropical state in your life. That's really good. But there is value to when we are in that dormant time, because it's a time where you're almost suspended, where things are slowed down, where you can gather yourself and think about what you need to do. And the fall is a season of letting go. And winter is that season right after fall where you've let things go. But at the end is always a beginning. The end is, in fact, a beginning. It's the same thing. And sometimes we don't want that end. Okay? But we have to understand, when you think about a tree and you prune that tree will be able to be stronger at times. Sometimes not pruning the tree keeps it from producing the way it's supposed to produce. And so, just like the tree, we sometimes have to prune ourselves. Now, I tell you what, Segur, I liken to the energy of Oya. Oya says, let it go. I'm telling you right now, let it go. Oya is a goddess energy that has to do with the old wise energy of the woman. When we're thinking about Segur, we're thinking about old wise energy. Old people are going to be very important this year. You need to hang out with the elders. And I'm talking old people. I'm starting to really love hanging out with old people. They are some of the most real people you'll ever meet. They will tell you the truth about whatever. They want to tell you the truth about whether you want that truth or not. But I love hanging out with old people because they teach me so much. They show me a work ethic that sometimes I think is missing from nowadays. They tell me stories of how it used to be so that I can understand to a certain degree, maybe it's better now, maybe not. Or maybe I understand why we are where we are, given where we've come from. And I just love how real they are. They have, I mean, they're like, I'm going to die soon. It may be 10 years from now, 15, 20 years from now. But they all are like, so because I don't know when I'm going to die, and it's, I'm 70 and it's going to happen soon probably. I'm just going to tell you what I think. And so you hear some of the most interesting things from old people. So old people are important this year. Don't discredit them. Hang out with them this year. Go love on them. Go do something nice for an old person. Yes, I call them old because they call themselves old and they're proud of it. And we maybe need to learn something about that. They're beautiful. I love the elders. But anyway, that's the energy of Oya, this goddess energy, this Segur energy. And so with Oya, she'll say, baby, let it go. Just let it go. And what do? We grab onto that thing tighter and tighter. She'll say, okay, I'm going to give you a little warning. And you'll feel a little zap, or you'll get a clue. You'll see something. And you say, oh, no, I didn't see that. I didn't sense that. I didn't pick that up. You'll lie to yourself. And you know you're supposed to let that thing go. Could be anything. A habit. Because I'm on my toes right now. A habit, a person, a job, whatever. You need to let that go. And we'll hold on to it more tightly. Or no, y'all will say, okay, I'm going to give you a deeper warning. I'm trying to tell you, let it go, or else I'm going to rip it from you. And then something else will come up, and we stay in the sea or the river called denial river. And next thing you know, that thing just gets ripped from you. And your eyes are puffy. You're looking up. You done lost everything that you ever thought you had. And you feel so empty because it was just suddenly ripped from you. And I say, prune thyself, lest thyself be pruned. What my godmother has said to me is, baby, we can do it easy, or we can do it rough. That means you give it up, or it will be taken from you, because the higher wisdom of the universe is going to cheer for you. It's going to root for you. It's going to say, you know what? If I have to take it from you and rip it from you, even though it'll crush you to a certain degree, I will do it because this is not for your highest and greatest good. So let it go. That's what we're being told to do. Let that thing die. In 2014, we are going to deal with a cycle of life called death. But it's saying we're going to be resistant to it. See, I've seen death and I've seen birth. And they're both beautiful. They're both the same, the two different sides of the same coin. They're the same coin, just two different sides. And do you know about death? Do you know what death is? Death is a part of life. And like I told you, I've dealt with death in 2013 in a way that I didn't want to deal with death. But I understood death is a part of life. And when you really look at it, it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. It's as beautiful as birth, because when you come to an end of a thing, you get to remember the lesson. You get to feel the blessing of heaven in your life. You get to know this was here and now it's time for it to move on for whatever reason, because maybe I need to move on in my life. That person needs to move on, that thing. And when you move on, when you let it go, you're opening yourself up to a birth, a new you, a new understanding. And so that is what we will deal with, even though some of us may be resistant in 2014. That is something that we will deal with. The energy of Oya, the energy of death. Seek to understand death and embrace it. You know, this in 2014, it may be a year where October, in November, where we are looking at, rituals that involve the dead. It may be a really important thing for us this year, an important celebration. Follow the cycles. There's so many different calendars. Your religion or spiritual system may have a calendar or something that it follows. Cycles are so important this year. Pay attention to the cycles and get yourself on a cycle. Like I said, I love following the cycles of the moon. It helps me to keep myself focused, to do certain things in a systematic way. Have a plan. Meditate. Okay, so with your career, the approach to your career needs to be one that's spiritual. You have to fall in love with spirituality in 2014, or you're probably not going to be happy. So to have a spiritual approach, maybe it's that you need to, when it comes to your career, understand its place in your spiritual growth and development. Maybe where you are now in your career, you need to evaluate it in terms of, is this really what I'm supposed to be doing? Or what spiritual qualities can I bring to my career? Bring that wisdom. Chanting, I mean, that's like the number one thing. When Sekert speaks, you have to chant. Walk in your power. Let's see if there's anything else I want to tell you. So this is all about power. It's about death. It's about letting go this year. It's about understanding the cycles. It's about intuiting a plan. And it's about being very, very spiritual. But come on, y'all, look now. This is something that I am really, like, it's a pet peeve of mine. Let me just say it this way. I don't like it when people get so spiritual that they're like nauseating. Okay, it's not spirituality for show. It's true spiritual growth and development. Okay, this is a very, big reading for us. So let's do it the right way. Let's not do it for show. Really, we don't even have to talk to anyone. This might be a loner year. I'm glad I thought about that. This might be a loner year. You may find that you just sort of prefer to be by yourself, and that certain things you may feel are beneath you, but you have to judge them. You know what I'm saying? Like, if people are talking about stuff that doesn't matter, sometimes people talk about television shows, or they talk about sports, or I don't know. I'm not interested in any of that, but I'm not going to put them down for it. I mean, I enjoy watching people have joy. And that's joy enough for me. Okay, they're enjoying their thing, even though I think it's boring for me. But to them, it's not boring. I'm not going to put them down for it. And so sometimes I do sort of find myself, maybe it's not that many people I talk to. Or, and then in a separate time, it's just sort of like, you just sort of want to talk to people that are interested in spirituality, spiritual things, deeper conversations. And that's okay, but we don't need to put other people down. You can just dismiss yourself or just look like a weirdo and stand in the corner or something. I'm joking. Anyway, I'm just saying it may be a loner year. You may not find yourself with a whole bunch of friends in a second type year. But all is not lost because Ma'at has spoken as a second energy. And so I will end this video and see you in the next one where we talk about the energy of Ma'at for 2014.